I'm Alex Paulton. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Talking Timepieces, where we talk about watch collecting and horology. Today, I am at the Geneva Watch Days with Bernhard Lederer, and the eponymous Lederer. It's your company, right? Isn't it, sir?
Yes. The company is carrying my name, or I carry the name of my company, however you want to see it. But I created Lederer Timepieces, a company taking care for high-end watches, for haute horlogerie, how they call it here in the French-speaking part of Switzerland. So it means nothing else than high-end quality watches. So what is high-end quality watches? This is, I guess, one of the themes we are going to talk about. I would like, and I'm happy that I have the chance to show and present a little bit the work what we are doing, and to explain the philosophy, what's behind, what the engine or the fuel for the engine, what is driving us to go ahead. Even if today we have mobile phones, quartz watches, atomic watches, why we still are so deep in love with mechanic watches.
Well, in my mind, if you're in a world that you don't have to wear a watch, you should wear a watch. It's a way to be distinctive and show style and personality.
That's it, yes. Yeah, you can show your personality by the choice of the watch you're wearing. And men have little choice where to show. Women are in a much better situation. They have the jewelries, they have the clothings. Of course, we have that too, but not in this extensive way as it is for women. So I guess everybody looks first on the wrist and then can judge a little bit what he thinks who is in front of him. And so wristwatches are telling a lot about the person who is wearing it. Yeah.
Well, I'm a big believer in that whole aspect of watches are a language for other watch collectors. So yes. You see somebody with, say, for example, a Lederer on their wrist, you know that person cares about watches. They're not just wearing a watch to show off the value and the money. They're wearing a watch to show off the style and the quality.
Yes, I think there is a very unique point on our watches. They show time, of course. So that is very common with all the other watches. But there is one specific point what you have to know or should know about watches from Lederer. I became watchmaker because I was falling in love not with watches, but with escapements.
The heart of the watch.
The heart of the watch. This is what interests me, this is what drives me, and this is what is really, really mesmerizing. If you start to understand that an escapement is the essential, this is the point where precision, where regularity, where reliability is made. This is in the escapement. And fortunately, we could tell, or unfortunately, but fortunately, the Swiss watch industry, what is dominating, but we can say in the whole world, people are using in watches mainly what we call the Swiss lever escapement. Everybody knows it is not with the highest efficiency, but it is the most easy to fabricate, it is reliable, so you can compare it like me as a German would say a Mercedes diesel engine. But I think a little bit more pleasure you may have with a Ferrari, with a Lamborghini or with a Porsche. Just imagine everybody forces you, whatever nice car you would like to drive, that it is equipped with a Mercedes diesel engine. Boof, 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 boof.
Reliable but boring.
Yeah. And this is where I step in, and so let's say we do the real thing, we do the real watchmaking, how it started, where it came from, the searching for the best possibility, the highest efficiency, the most reliable, and not the most industriality. Oops, maybe we have to change my wording. The escapement what is used today in 99.9% of watches is this one, what is the most easy in industrial objectives to manufacture. Yeah, and that is, I think, for my point of view, does not pick any interest. I don't want to say it's boring, because still it makes tic-tac in a fascinating way, but there is nothing really to develop and to push further. But yes, there are escapements, lovely escapements, interesting escapements, nice to observe escapements, and of course escapements that have a higher efficiency, that have a higher reliability, and what is special, they are very rare, so it's really something to find, to discover, to hunt. All new. We all, the watch collectors, at the end of the day, I guess a little bit we are hunters.
We are hunters.
Yeah, we want to discover. We want
the Beute fangen.
Beute fangen. Yeah, we want to get
the trophy. Yeah.
Yes, we want to get the trophy, and I think here we have a few very nice trophies. And behind Lederer, as I told you, is the fascination of escapements. And what we have here, the first family, is the family of an escapement, what we call the central impulse chronometer, what is an escapement that closed the book, what had been opened and started with Abraham Louis Breguet, with his natural escapement. What is an idea, an escapement, what is so fascinating that still today, even if we know by physics laws, it never can really work as he imagined. But it's so fascinating that even today people try to get the version of Breguet working. Today we have the knowledge. Physics law tells us it never will work reasonable the way Breguet did, but George Daniels had the idea in 1976 how to get it work.
The coaxial.
Not the coaxial.
Not the coaxial.
No, the independent double wheel escapement.
Ah, okay, yes.
Very famous one. He put it into Space Traveler 1, Space Traveler 2, very famous pocket watches. Unfortunately, only 2 exist, and they are really expensive, more than $4 million. But they are equipped with this escapement. And that was the idea of Daniels, and therefore he called it independent double wheel escapement, because the Breguet version is a dependent double wheel escapement. And that was the problem of Breguet.
So now your escapements are of that design, you're saying?
They are based on this design, because the design of George Daniels was for pocket watches. And he writes in his books that he imagines, or that he states, this escapement to be the very best that he knows about and what he can imagine. But too delicate in tolerances to ever fit a wristwatch.
Got it.
And therefore he went to a, by his point of view, not so genius escapement, the coaxial, because this fitted a wristwatch. And that is the reason why he went there. And I thought, when you know George Daniels, or if you have seen his workshop, he worked with rather historic machines, let's say. And therefore I said, today it should not be a real problem to make his dream reality and get it so miniaturized with modern technologies that it will work in a wristwatch.
Very cool. So now why don't you tell us a little bit about some of these pieces that you have here?
Yeah, you just have in the hand the piece with which we had been winning the Innovation Prize on the Grand Prix de Horlogerie de Genève. Yeah, so the watch
Horological Society.
Yes, the watch Oscar, as people love to call it here. And there we had been winning the Innovation Prize. Innovation Prize because we closed the book, as I said, what Breguet opened, and that stood open for so many years, and now it came really to the conclusion. Here you have his idea in our way to execute it in a perfect way, working reliably. And we even went so far, we put it to wrist of a guy who make downhill bicycle race. And this, just go to the TV, look a downhill race, and then you know this is real stress.
Shock and vibration.
Yeah. And no problem for our watch. So it is really something what you can say. This is a chronometer escapement, a detent escapement that is not sensible on shocks, that is very shock resistant, very, very good for everyday use. And it's very elegant. It's a dress watch, a sports watch. So it is for all the occasions. So you really can wear that in every day, every occasion.
Very cool. And so what's the name of this piece again?
We call it the Central Impulse Chronometer. And people just shorten it and call it the CIC.
Very cool. So now you have this one. This blue one is also very beautiful.
This is now because we started, you remember George Daniels told, never ever it will fit a wristwatch. So I was quite afraid if I will get it, so I was happy that we could put it in a 44 millimeter case. The wording 44 millimeters, however, is something like a break for people when they want to buy an exceptional watch like that. They hear 44 millimeters and they say, oh, too big for me.
Yeah.
In reality, it is because of the form of the case. When people look at it, in reality, they say, oh, a watch 42, maybe 41. And if I tell them that's 44, oh no, I can't believe. So there is the point why now with the knowledge how the escapement works, how we resolve the problem of the tight tolerances, it was clear we will be able to make a 39 millimeter. And this is where we are here. And it's funny, people come because they learned we have 39 millimeter now and they want to buy it. And they go out with the 44. But here we have a very special piece. This was made on demand for a customer. It's a very special blue color. It is not a galvanic blue, what you can buy everywhere. The customer has sent us fabrics of dyeing. Yeah, so they had been colored in a very traditional way. And he sent us those examples and he said, I want to watch in this specific color. So we had been sitting down, we made different tests and how you call it, trial, failure, and at the end with success. We found a way how to create even this very special blue color. And you're right, we have here the normal galvanic blue, and here we have this very special. And people, when the both watches are laying one beside the other, automatically they grab this very special blue.
And it's a very subtle difference, but a striking difference.
Yes, yeah. And this, I'm very happy, and that is what drives me. I want to make people happy. So very often I had been asked why you do what you are doing. Of course, I follow my passion. That's it. And I'm driven when I can see that customers come here, and we had the chance, one customer came unexpected, yes. And we had his watch, what was ready. We had been here with us, and he came in, he said, by chance, do you have my watch with you? And you cannot imagine the sparkling in the eyes, the happiness in the face. And this is the petrol what keeps us on running.
Very cool. Now, speaking of running, this is a very nice skeleton. Well, it's an open face.
It's an open face, yes. I don't know how clear you can see on the camera how our watches are made. You make close-ups, okay? Then I tell you that whoever took the watch to his hand had been looking to the dial. He saw the two openings for the two second hands. And people are a little bit shy. They want to find out themselves, what's this 2 second hands? One counterclockwise? what's that? So they turn around and then, whoa, what's that? Never saw a movement like that before. Yes, it's true. We made something. I don't want to tell. I regret what we did because it's so magnifique, more beautiful. But it was a headache to find a supplier to make the sapphire back. Because here, nearly the
it's
whole
a domed
case,
back.
It's a domed back. It's a very complicated shape. But the intention was to show what we are mastering, the movement. We wanted to show the movement. We wanted to have the movement like in a vitrina, that you can really enjoy what is the beauty in a watch. And people seeing that, immediately they said, "Oh, I will wear the watch the wrong way round. I want to every day look to this movement." So this is not that easy possible, but we made it possible. We did nothing else than turn the whole watch around. We had to engineer to go through the movement, to put the hands on the wrong side. And then we have the same glass dome now on the front side. You have the whole movement, and hopefully this is not a skeleton watch.
Right.
Because a skeleton watch always gives me a little bit headache because I don't find the hands anymore. Between all those tiny part of bridges what stays, they confuse me and I don't find the hands anymore. But here we did not make a skeleton. We kept the whole main plate closed as it is. It's only that we have here the bridges and the wheels, everything is visible, but in front of a closed background. So the hands have the base of contrast where they move around, so it's easy to read the time in here.
Uh-oh, they're taking our watches.
We have to take care, but they cannot leave the room.
Very cool. But that is a very lovely piece.
And it is, you know, all our watches are certified at least with a COSC certification. Now on this watch here, do you see a second hand?
No.
How you can certify a watch with a COSC certification without second hand? Normally, no way, but yes, if you turn it around on the back side, you have a little disc where the seconds are indicated, and this is turning. And this was the agreement what we got with the COSC certification offices. They told us, yes, we are ready to certify these watches as well, as long as there's at least on the back side the second hand, so the customer can see and control
the seconds.
Even if this is a design watch, this is a watch for those lovers of movements, and still it is certified with a COSC certification.
Very cool.
But we don't finish there, because COSC certification is one thing, but to be challenged is another thing, and I love to be challenged. So I thought, beside of the COSC certification, what is a certificate that tells you that a watch shows after 24 hours again exactly the time. We have a watch what is telling you the time correctly throughout the whole power reserve. So we have two remontoirs in our watches. A remontoir is a little device what is rewinding a very little spring. In our case, every 10 seconds we rewind a spring, and it is around 7 degrees we rewind the spring. Compare it with the mainspring. A mainspring you wind around 12 times the barrel house, 12 times 360 degrees. You can imagine that there you have a variety in energy flow.
Constant force is always a constant force is always a grail.
And constant force is a grail, and the remontoir d'égalité is a step to the direction. Still far away from a constant force, but
closer,
coming close. And as we have two independent movements in the system, we have also two remontoirs d'égalité of 10 seconds each, but we overlap them by 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds, and this is beautiful, you put the watch to your ear and listen to the music. Every 5 seconds you have a ding.
As the remontoirs.
Yes, and then the chicka 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 ding, chicka 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 ding. It's lovely. And as I told you, cost certification is one thing, but what we call the observatory chronometers, that was a testing in the past where the watches had been very strictly controlled. It is much more than a cost certification. And today there are still 3 observatories who make not as strict as it was in the past, but at least more difficult to achieve, because they are testing the entire watch. COSC is only testing the movement, not cased watches. And we had the idea to give our watch a limited series of watches to the 3 still existing observatories. This is the observatory where Lange & Söhne is giving their watches, if they give for testing. It is in Glashütte, die Sternwarte. What is the German word for observatory? The observatory in Glashütte is active. Then we have the observatory in Besançon, what is the affiliate of Paris, what is internationally the center of measurements. The atomic timekeeping is there, and the affiliate of them is in Besançon on the observatory. And last not least, we have the observatory of Geneva. And those 3 places, we give 8 of our watches who are already COSC certified. We give them, and this is the watch what we designed for this. And we made it in a very classic design to show from the dial already that this is a measure instrument of highest quality. Entire massive sterling silver dial, as it was with the best chronometers in the past, and with the certification of addition 3 observatories.
Very nice, very nice. Well, you've done so much to advance horology and to make these beautiful pieces. I'm really glad you had the opportunity to let me come and take this opportunity to chat with you. I'm really glad we did that.
It's my pleasure, and everybody is welcome. I love to explain, whoever has a question about remontoirs, about tourbillons, about constant forces, and so on, about different escapements. You know, let me tell you the story why I fall in love with escapements. It's a funny story of an author who was writing a book about watch collecting. And he explained how he became a watch collector. And that is because his father collected some pocket watches with different escapements and played a game with his son, who had the right to listen on the drawer of the office table of his father, and he had to find out which pocket watch is inside the drawer. So only by the signature, the phonetic signature of the sound of different escapements, he had to find out which watch is in the drawer. And I was not sure if that is a very nice fairy tale or if that may be the truth. To find it out, I went to flea markets, and I had been winding all what I could find on pocket watches, and I was listening and listening to another one and listening, and like this I started to learn about escapements, and this is how I was falling in love. And it's now 50 years ago, and a love of 50 years what did never stop but even became stronger and stronger. This is the passion behind it, there's nothing more exciting than escapements.
I agree with you, sir. Bernhard, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. I'm really glad that we got this done.
It's my pleasure, because you are a partner for a discussion where I feel you have a real understanding of the theme, and this is very nice to have people like you around us.
I'm flattered, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.